How to get an interest rate in the fours. Interest rates have remained stubbornly high ever since they started ticking up in 2021. Buyers, we know this has impacted affordability. Sellers, we know this has an impact on what your home can sell for. So how do you get an interest rate in the fours? Well, I'm going to give you not one, but two ways you can make that happen. And you may be thinking, Johnny, I don't even need this information. Interest rates are going to drop in 2025. They're going to go down and this will be a non-issue. Well, recently a study just came out and they found that Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, and Wells Fargo, if you average those three entities out, what their predictions are for 2025 is that interest rates will only go down to 6.33. So we're not talking about a huge drop right now. We're about 6.7, 6.8 right now. And at the end of 2025, they think that it's just going to come down to 6.33. So I'm going to give you two ways to get interest rates in the fours or even lower. Option number one is to find an assumable mortgage. There were a lot of people that bought houses when interest rates were in the 2s, 3s, and 4s, and their mortgage is assumable. So what you can do is you can have your agent find different homes, different communities that you're looking to buy in, and identify which of those houses have a low interest rate. Then you can approach those homeowners and say, hey, I'd love to take over your mortgage. Now, the pros in this situation is you get a lower interest rate. The cons is you might have to come up with some more money, because if they bought the house a few years ago and now it's increased in value by $100,000, $150,000, most of them are going to want to recognize that gain. So you might have to put a little bit more money down, but you will have a lower interest rate. Now let's say you don't have all the money in the world, you don't have $100,000, $150,000 extra dollars to put down on a house. Well, can you still get a mortgage rate in the fours? The answer is yes, and it's called a 2-1 buydown. And how that works is the seller, so if you're purchasing the home, the seller will then pay for up to 2 years of interest payments on your property. So the first year they're paying for enough money to buy that rate down into the fours. The next rate, it'll bump up into the fives, and then hopefully, 2 years later, you'll be able to refinance. Hopefully, interest rates will finally have come down to a point where it makes sense for you to refinance. There's even a 3-2-1. So if interest rates are in the sixes, you might be able to get an interest rate down in the threes. Now, in order for this to happen, the sellers do have to pay the interest. So check with your mortgage professional, make sure that you qualify, and make sure that your agent is familiar and experienced in negotiating these types of deals. So as we move into 2025, hopefully these two things will help you figure out how to get an interest rate that's lower. And if you're selling a house, here are some ways that you can entice buyers to pick your home over the competition. If you have any questions, reach out. You can find us at madeformorerealty.com.